When you see these two teams in the Super Bowl, most likely you would be hyped for it. But unlike some people on social media nowadays, this Super Bowl matchup is considered a letdown. This matchup figuratively could be one of the best Super Bowls of all time, and I have some big reasons to back that up. First, let's look at the teams on paper. The Kansas City Chiefs have won the last two Super Bowls, with obviously their leading quarterback, who is vying to be one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest quarterback in NFL history, in Patrick Mahomes. Then you have one of the greatest tight ends of all time, with Travis Kelce, who some say might retire this season, though I don't really think so. Outside of those two, who are the main big pieces on the Chiefs roster, you have a couple of newcomers and some old players. DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Chiefs this season, and although he's not as good as he used to be, he was still one of the best wide receivers in the 2010s. Outside of him, they brought back Juju Smith-Schuster, who you all know from a couple of different incidents. Also, a big pickup that they had this year, and is kind of seen as the replacement for Tyreek Hill now, is Xavier Worthy. He's shown out this season and showed his potential of being one of the biggest threats that Patrick Mahomes can use. Not to mention their defense with Chris Jones and other solid players on that defense. But the Kansas City Chiefs roster is just one piece of the pile, as the Philadelphia Eagles is usually seen as the best roster team in the NFL. Jalen Hurts obviously is the quarterback of the team, who's been a really good player and made an all-pro team during his first year and has always been in the MVP conversation, at least for the last 3 years. The Eagles also added a running back this season who many thought wasn't going to be such a great signing, but he proved those doubters wrong, as Saquon Barkley had 2,000 yards this season and is considered the best running back in the NFL. If you include the playoffs, he's having one of the best running back seasons of all time. Not to even mention the wide receivers the Eagles have, with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, who are both really great players. The Eagles' offensive line is really good as well, along with the Eagles' defense, who ranked as number 1 in the league this season. Two major causes of that is the big additions they had on all 3 levels of the defense. Jalen Carter on the defensive line, who has improved from his rookie year, and Zach Baun, who was signed to the Eagles this season and has shown out to be an all-pro player and a Defensive Player of the Year candidate this year. Along with the Eagles secondary, with rookie Quinyon Mitchell, who's been amazing, and obviously Darius Slay, who's a perennial Pro Bowler, and maybe, if they do win it this year, a future Hall of Famer. Not to mention that they also got Cooper DeJean, who's also been a really big bright spot for the Eagles this season. They then re-signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was 3rd in the league in interceptions as well, which really shows you how both of these teams are really good in their own right. Not to mention the storylines that's also happening in the Super Bowl. As I mentioned before, the Kansas City Chiefs have won 2 straight Super Bowls and have made it to 5 Super Bowls in the last 6 years. On the other side though, what the Eagles are trying to do is stop them from making history, while also trying to finally get over the hump and win a Super Bowl, while also avenging their loss in 2022. As the Eagles and the Chiefs are starting to turn out to be a really good rivalry, with these two teams obviously having incredible winning seasons, which ultimately led them back to the Super Bowl this year. Although the Kansas City Chiefs are believed to be the favorites to win this Super Bowl, I do think it could be a very good game, and I don't think people should discredit this Super Bowl, as it could really be one of the best we've seen. And to put that more into context, this Super Bowl has the most wins between two teams since 1984, when the 49ers played the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl that year. The 49ers were 15-1, and the Dolphins were 14-2. Now you're entitled to your own opinion on if you think this Super Bowl is going to be great or not, but you can't deny facts, and I think people are a little too hard on these teams. Let me know what y'all think about the Super Bowl down below, and this rivalry that's brewing between the Eagles and the Chiefs. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.